Hey everybody, my name is Steven and this is the Storytime channel. Quickly before I get into the stories today, I want to mention that I do a giveaway every single week, so if you're interested in entering and don't know how to enter, stay tuned till later in the video and I'll tell you exactly how to. That said, our first malicious compliance story is by auskarateguy, effective immediately. About 10 months ago, I worked dispatch and transport for a company that was in the steel reinforcement industry. I generally worked with customers to have their steel arrive when they needed it so they wouldn't be delayed as best as I could, and occasionally would have to ask other customers if they could reschedule or if their delivery was time critical. My original supervisor had left for a better opportunity at a rival company about 5 months prior, and I now had to report to the higher-ups because they refused to either promote me or hire someone to fill his position, and instead just transferred someone from interstate who was from another department, not transport, to do the easier parts of my job. Calling customers who had multi-level buildings to pre-plan an approximate date of when they would need certain work plans put into production, while I had to continue doing the bulk of the delivery planning, truck scheduling, driver manifests, and booking any small courier work, although during the week leading up to this malicious compliance, she was on leave and I had been doing everything. Now, rule of thumb was account customers who paid a premium delivery got priority, then standard account customers, followed by one-off or cash sale customers, unless the customer happened to pay for the premium delivery service. Unfortunately, sales and management had started getting the idea that they could get every delivery done whenever the customer said jump, because I had been hitting the target with about a 99% hit rate, with the exceptions of when weather or machine breakdown became a factor. Sorry for the backstory, but I feel it was needed to get the full context of the job. Those in transport understand. So I got a call from one of the customers, we'll call him John Doe, who happened to be a cash sale, telling me he needed his steel on site approximately 80 kilometers away, 50 miles for those not yet caught up with the rest of the world, at 7 a.m. on Monday on a truck with a crane, but couldn't accommodate a semi as there wasn't room on site. Problem was that this was on Friday, in the afternoon, 90 minutes before my finishing time. I tell the customer I'm sorry, but there is no way I could get 23 tons of steel produced and delivered to him by 7 a.m. as the site was at least 60 to 90 minutes away depending on traffic, and our crane truck driver started 6 a.m., so they first need to check and tie down their load before getting the okay to leave by the safety officer on site, but also all our production capacity was full, and his steel, which was originally booked for Tuesday afternoon, was pre-approved for a semi with no crane as they had one on site. Now the silence was deafening as I knew exactly what was coming. JD had started a huge tirade about how his steel needed to be there or he'd miss the concrete pour, and his steel fixers needed it ready to go the moment they finished their site meeting. I guess they had an hour-long site meeting, and that their crane was not arriving on site until the following week when the prefab walls arrive. Now, to be fair, I had just had a week of heck already, and this guy was the last thing I wanted before I was to enjoy my weekend, so I simply responded with the, "I'm sorry sir, but my hands are tied at this point. If you had called yesterday and I had time to rearrange some jobs, it would have had a slight chance of being pushed up, but as it is now, I wouldn't be able to A, have the steel produced, or B, have 2 crane trucks spare to dedicate to one delivery." Before he can resume his rant, I tell the customer, I can try for Tuesday morning, but again, at this point, only half of the order would get there, and I would first need to have a driver agree to start early to be there by 7 a.m. The customer says, "That's not good enough. I've paid good money for this steel, so I expect it when I need it." I understand you need the steel, however, you're asking me to prioritize your work over another that was already booked and confirmed.
And your point? Just get me my delivery.
My point is, you're asking me to sit here at my desk for another 2 hours while I attempt to find the trucks needed from outside hiring companies, ask the production team to work overtime tonight and tomorrow to complete the extra work loading onto 2 separate trucks, and try to convince 2 drivers to start at least half an hour earlier to have a chance at being there by 7 a.m. if they are quick at tying down their loads. as well as the extra work the morning crew will have on Monday to load the 2 other trucks that couldn't get preloaded as they're outside hire and won't get here until 6 a.m. at the earliest, and that's assuming I can even find the trucks on such short notice, considering most companies have their trucks completely booked out by midday for the next business day.
Freak you, don't tell me you can't do it. Last week I ordered 50 links and it was here 3 hours later, so don't freaking tell me you can't do it.
May I ask who you ordered it through? We have a few sites around the state that hold stock materials and can be couriered, and assumed correctly that this is what had happened.
Dave is the guy I normally speak to about that stuff.
Oh, from our site that is literally 20 minutes from you that had the stock on hand, so they only needed to put it on a truck that was going that way? Apparently, this is where my smart bud nature had pushed him over the edge because he hung up on me, and I had wrongly assumed he got the message that he was asking the impossible and conceded, but no. I had gotten a call from the big boss asking me to come up to his office about 10 minutes later. When I got there, the sales manager was there also. The boss says, "What's this I am told? You refuse a customer their delivery?" Before I can respond, sales manager says, "I just got off the phone to a customer who I was about to put on account, telling me that you were rude and offensive and he expects his delivery." Okay, so in answer to your question, boss, yes, I have refused a customer their delivery on the grounds that we can't make that time slot as we are already booked up until Tuesday afternoon, and no, sales manager, I wasn't rude or offensive, but if he took offense to anything I said, then that's on him as offense is taken, not given. Boss says, "Okay, why can't we make that delivery?" I say, "Well, because the 23 tons of steel he ordered was originally confirmed for Tuesday afternoon on a semi with no crane, as they apparently had a crane on site. However, he asked for it to be Monday morning at 7 a.m., split onto 2 rigid crane trucks only 25 minutes ago." Thinking this was a satisfactory answer, I had assumed they would realize what a douche canoe this guy was. Sales manager says, "What do you mean? That's no reason we can't get the steel to him." At this point, I had lost my patience as the sales team seemed to think they could get their way no matter what because management always backed them. I don't know what it's like in other countries, but here in Australia, we have 2 ways of reacting once we lose our patience: get angry or become a downright smart butt. I chose the second path. Apart from the fact that we have 280 tons of steel already booked for other customers, all our crane trucks are booked to confirm slots, and I would have more chance of meeting the Queen of England at a local pub, while Ozzy Osbourne was biting the head off a bat than getting another 2 trucks booked before I finish. Boss says, "There's no need for that, but surely we can resolve this so everyone is happy." Sales manager says, "Get the steel to the customer and I'll be happy." I say, "Stop thinking that I have a magic truck spawning wand that I wave every time you guys place an urgent order, or a customer rings complaining they can't change the date and time of their delivery, and I'll be a little less annoyed." This is where things went south. The boss says, "Well, this is a potential account customer, so here's what needs to happen. You will find a way to get this done, or you will find another job effective immediately." Well, looks like I'm finding another job because there is no way I can get 2 trucks from here to site by 7 a.m. Monday morning and keep my other job deadlines that I have already confirmed. I then stood up and walked out of the office back to the dispatch office where my desk was, wiped my personal files, my own notes and spreadsheets I kept that helped me in my job, from the computer I worked on, shut my computer down, and collected my personal belongings from the tea room and the desk drawers. The guy who also worked in the office, he worked as the driver safety check and made sure the trucks were always maintained and compliant, maintenance guy or MG, asked what was going on, to which I shrugged and responded, "You know that Clyde North guy from before? He just complained to his sales rep who in turn complained to Big Boss, and they told me to find a way of getting it done or find another job, so I guess I find another job." Maintenance guy says, "Yeah, but you haven't printed any of the manifests or done the courier bookings for Monday morning." I say, "I'm just following instructions and finding another job effective immediately because they did tell me to do that if I didn't find a way." The desk phone rang, but I didn't answer because it was the sales manager. Then it rang again, this time Big Boss, but I still didn't answer because as far as I was concerned, I was now fired effective immediately. My mobile rang next from a number I didn't recognize, but I answered because of my karate school and being a potential new student. However, it was Big Boss on his personal mobile. Big Boss says,
Why didn't you answer your desk phone?
I say, oh, because effective immediately were the words used, hence I no longer work here, and I'm not obligated to answer the phone at the desk I no longer am employed to sit at. Thank you for the employment, boss. By the way, you may need to send someone to organize the manifests and courier bookings for Monday, as I normally do that in my last 90 minutes to ensure any cancellations are caught before I leave, and good luck finding a way of delivering that steel to Clyde North at 7 a.m. on Monday morning. I hung up the phone and said my goodbyes to the few people I actually liked and got along with on my way out. However, as I finished putting my things in my car, I had the sales manager and big boss stop me at my car telling me I had to finish out the day, to which I smiled and responded, effective immediately, are words I am happy to comply with. Got in my car and drove to my dojo where, thanks to my leave payout, I can now run full-time karate and kubudo, traditional weapons, classes. If I was in that situation, I too would probably want to just drop it and walk out and accept that they fired me there. Obviously, it was a veiled threat to try and make them do the impossible, but obviously OP was so far over it and felt so disrespected that it wasn't even worth his time to try and consider any other form of recourse. So my question for you is, if this was you, would you have walked out too? Let me know in the comments down below. And our next story is by absintheortwo. I'll take the free mini vacation for $0, Alex. A little background. I took a position within my company that required a cross-country relocation from the West Coast to the East Coast along with a change in corporate divisions. I knew as part of this deal I'd have to return to the West Coast once or twice a year, a total of maybe 6 to 8 days a year to handle some integration things. So I packed up, left family and friends, and got happily settled in at the new job. A few months go by before the topic of a return trip to the West Coast pops up in a meeting. The guy that organizes our release schedules has pulled some dates out of his butt for the trip. It's a Monday to Thursday. We coordinate with the customer and carve all this into granite. Let me take a quick detour here. The guy who maintains our schedule is Dean. Dean is paid a princely sum to maintain an MS project schedule and do a couple other simple things. Dean doesn't seem willing to use the MS Project feature that allows you to import holidays into your schedule, so he once picked some arbitrary dates for a couple hardware techs to do work over what turned out to be Thanksgiving. It happens that this division of Mondo Corp doesn't pay us to travel on weekends, and Dean has me meeting the customer on Monday morning. I bring it up in our next staff meeting to confirm that, indeed, unlike my old division, they won't pay for weekend travel. My manager says nope, no pay for weekend travel. I'm not happy I have to donate half a day on Sunday to the company. I have a little epiphany. I ask if Friday travel is authorized. My manager says, sure, why not? I ask again, I can fly back to the West Coast on Friday morning, get a rental car, stay 3 extra nights, and Mondo Corp will pay? The answer is still yes. I spent the weekend revisiting my favorite eating haunts, visiting family, visiting friends, and in general having a good time, all paid for by Mondo Corp. I get to work Monday morning with a nice tan and a bit of a hangover. OP, take that privilege and run with it as much as you can. If they're willing to pay for you to have a good time, you go ahead and do that and you enjoy yourself. These mini paid vacations, absolutely perfect. I'm sure anybody would love to have that kind of deal in their job. So quickly now, I want to explain just how to enter the giveaway. All you need to do is leave a comment on this video relevant to something you saw or heard or liked in any story in that video. That's it, you're entered. But it applies to every single video we upload this week. So to get the best odds at winning the $30 Amazon gift card giveaway, you'll want to leave a comment relating to any of those videos all week long. On Sunday, after the last video has gone out, I'll pick one comment at random and let you know on the following Monday who has won, and then it starts all over again. So make sure you leave a relevant comment on this video and additionally every video I upload this week for the absolute best chance to win. And while you're at it, why don't you go ahead and give the videos a like too, because it helps more than you could imagine. And our final story of the day is by xMikeh. I want to talk to anyone other than your stupid butt. Wish granted. About 3 years back, I worked at a call center that was contracted to a certain 3-letter mobile company that reminds me of my favorite Star Wars vehicle, the AT-AT Walker. I was actually a team lead / supervisor, but Q was high, so I jumped on the phone to help. First call was someone who was either driving with her windows down or sitting behind a jet. She was having issues with one service or another that we offered. We always start calls with the same, "Thanks for calling AT&T. My name is Mika. Can I get your name, please?" She just starts spouting her issue, completely ignoring what I said. Very common. After hearing her out as best I could, I reassure her I understand what she is dealing with and should be able to clear it up fairly fast. We just need to authenticate into the account so I can actually make changes. She says she spoke to someone before me and they already authenticated, so why should she have to do it again? God forbid you have to give out the 4-digit PIN you set up for exactly this situation. It turned into a huge deal to her. "I am driving, I don't have time for this crap, get me your supervisor." Oh boy, here we go. "Ma'am, I actually am a supervisor, just doing some phone time to help clear our queue. If there is any issues, I am the one to clear it up." "No, you get me your supervisor." Anytime there are escalations on a supervisor, we would just go grab another team leader at the same level to go on and likely repeat exactly what we just told the customer. However, because she wasn't authenticated in, no one was going to take the call. After about 2 minutes, I pop back in and try once again to explain I am wanting to help. I told her if she didn't want to give her PIN, I can send a text with a code in it to one of the numbers on the account just so we can get through this one dang page. I did not expect her response. "Excuse me, you do not have permission to send anything to my phone. I did not tell you that you could do something like that. You know what? You are a stupid batter. I want to speak to anyone other than your stupid butt." I really weighed my choices on this and said, "I will be happy to do that to you." I put her on hold. After about 4 minutes, muted my phone and took her off for about 20 seconds, then put her back on hold another 3 minutes. Pulled up my company directory, picked an affiliate company PH number, and hit transfer. I stayed on the line long enough to hear the other line get answered.
"Thank you for calling McDonald's corporate headquarters."
And just dropped the line. I downloaded that call and turned her insult into my text tone. Probably the most satisfying thing to ever happen for me at that job. So glad to not be there anymore. So attached to OP's post is the actual clip of her saying, "You are a batter." Of course, the actual word is too inappropriate to actually post anything here, but it's kind of funny that they actually saved that and they actually had that and they could share it. Sometimes you turn the nastiest people's words into the funniest moments. But with that being said, that's all the time we have for today. So if you enjoyed the stories today, please consider giving the video a like, and if you haven't, subscribe and turn notifications on so you'll never miss an upcoming video. And if you had a favorite story of the day, let me know which one and why in the comments down below. But no matter what you did, whether it was liking, commenting, subscribing, whatever you did, thank you all so very much for supporting me right here on the Storytime channel. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and as always, I'll be back tomorrow with more Reddit stories right here on the Storytime channel.